So what a pleasure it is to welcome you to your own city.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me here.
You remember Sindhu Bhairavi?
Of course I remember. I got all my love and luck and everything for that film. How can I forget it?
But what an amazing film it was. So, the idea of the artist and the idea of the artist as an individual, the artist as a professional, and the sort of relationship between artists as well. It was quite ahead of its time.
You'll be surprised how the film was seen so many years ago in 1983 or 84.
85, I thought.
85, I think, when it released. The men loved it because for the first time it talked about intellectual companionship for a man. Because weddings were always arranged by family and they never looked at the intellectual compatibility between the man and the woman. It was never looked at. So it was a kind of a welcome, issue that was discussed in the film, because in the protagonist, Shivakumar, he had a wife who didn't understand anything that he was doing. She was a very, beautiful wife and she was perfect. But the thing is, he didn't find the companionship in her at all. So I was so surprised to see men come up and say, like, finally we saw something that we are facing in real life, So there are so many perspectives to that story.
But as a woman, even as a woman, I think the idea of a woman as an artist first, and I think a woman later. I think the artist in her wanted to be free, and the fact that she leaves at the end.
She didn't have parents and she didn't have a husband. So I think music was her everything.
Absolutely.
For her, the art was everything for her.
And she would do anything for it.
Yeah. She would even have a baby and give it away.
And give away the baby. I mean, can you imagine? And this is, 1985?
85,
Sometimes I think, have we regressed in our movies or have we progressed?
I did another movie in Telugu, which was like the Sindhu Bhairavi in Telugu called Swati. I don't know how many people are Telugu here. Yeah, have you seen Swati? You've heard about Swati? In Swati, I'm a medical student. And my mother is a nurse. And she had I'm the illegitimate child because the father left, when she was conceived and things like that. And then she'd never known her father. And she gets her mother married. She goes out and finds the doctor and says, like, my mother would like to marry you. So I'm arranging the marriage. So this was in 1982. So whatever you say, I think it's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the same film was made in Hindi with Meenakshi Seshadri called Swati, the same director.
Right.
And Madhuri's first film, she
right.
played the younger sister. I remember that.
God, what times. But also, I think your first, the movie that you directed, Indira, again, taking on the caste system in such an unusual way. And your protagonist, of course, played by your niece, right?
My cousin. My cousin.
I always get that relationship wrong. But again, talking about caste at a time, I think perhaps one of the first films of its kind to talk about caste discrimination. You want to just revisit that a bit?
I think today I'm not very proud of the way I made that film, because when you look at Ranjit and Paranjit and Mari Selvaraj's, they have been through it, They have been in the Gaza Strip, so they know what happened to them. I mean, so they went through the problems, and their films are more real than what I try to do. I try to glamorize it because I was always watching it from outside. I was not involved in the humiliation or the punishments that went on, even though I'm from a small village. So I guess, that's what was different. Today, these youngsters are succeeding with those concepts and the interpretation, whereas I try to glamorize it because from an outsider's point of view. So I am a little ashamed of the way I dealt with the film at that time. I'm sure.
Really? It still seems so perfect to me.
It's an effort. I can say it's an effort, but not a perfect effort. It's quite imperfect. It's an attempt, I can say.
Do you think it's important for the artist to actually go through the struggle to depict it, this whole idea of cultural appropriation? Do you believe in it?
I don't think so. I seriously don't think so. Because when I acted in Sindhu Bhairavi, I was not having an affair with a married man. And I won a national award for it, which means I played it perfectly.
Must have done it right,
Yes. So I don't think so. But to be a writer and to bring out the best in you. If you've gone through that situation, I think there is another dimension which no writer can bring it out from his imagination.
Right.
I mean, I have to accept it. There is no other choice.
Right. So my question is, why haven't you made many more Indiras? Even if they're imperfect according to you, why haven't you made
I
many
did direct quite a few things. Like, I think you had Revati in the morning. So we made a 1.5 hour telefilm together called Friends. It's quite amazing how it happened. Director called Manobala, who's no more now, he just passed away recently. He called us and said, Sun TV wants a film for Diwali. And they asked me to produce the film. So I want both of you, one of you to direct, one of you to act. So we said, how much time do you have? He said about 15 days to shoot. I said, 15 days, we have to come up with a story and everything. So I think Mani had gone for one of his outdoor shooting. And I told Revati, come, let's have a sleepover. The bed is free, so you can come and we can discuss. So we are friends in real life, and we started discussing our friends. So she discussed some of her friends, I discussed some of my friends. For example, my friend wanted a family all the time, whereas I wanted to work. But she got married much after me. So we took that as a subject, and a very, very ambitious person who gets married and becomes a housewife, and another girl who did not want to study. She wanted to get married and have children, ended up being an entrepreneur. If both of them meet at a crucial point in life, you know what happens to women when they're 50 or 45 and they find a lump where they shouldn't be finding the lump. And at that time they meet again, and we thought we'll look at it. So in one night we decided to make a film called Friends, and we both directed it. And my portion she directed, her portions I directed. And when both of us were there, Manobola directed. It was fantastic. We made a 1.5 hour film in 6 days. So, sometimes
like
I
really
feel more than
guerrilla
what
filming.
you see, what goes behind is more interesting than what actually you see.
Where can one watch this?
You can watch it on YouTube.
Oh,
I'll
wonderful.
send you a link tomorrow because
Oh,
somebody
I
watches
think
it.
all
and-
of us will.
Yeah. It's called
Yeah,
Friends. Yes.
Right. You also did Coffee Anyone recently.
Coffee with Anyone
Yeah.
and for Amazon. Yes,
Right.
yes.
Did you enjoy returning to...
Absolutely.
Yeah?
It was really wonderful. Also, we had some rules. There were supposed to be only 7 people in the unit because it was in the peak of COVID, and we were not supposed to use children and senior citizens, and there were a lot of restrictions because it's a corporate film. So I don't know why we abided by all the rules. I don't think the others did. Women are like that, we follow rules. Yeah. I don't think the other directors followed, because when I see the film, I said, no way, there were only 7 people. There must have been 40 people. But anyway, that's behind the scenes. So I really enjoyed it, and had to direct Shruti Hasan remotely because she was in Hyderabad. She couldn't come because there were no flights operating at that time. So I had to do the direction, her scenes remotely. So it was pretty interesting, yes.
And of course, you come back to acting just a little bit at least.
Yeah, I'm acting all the time. I mean, I've just accepted 2 Telugu films which are starting.
Wonderful. Yay.
And yes, I'm doing lead roles in both.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you are, of course, Kamal Hassan's niece and Maniratnam's wife. Those 2 identities sometimes tend to take over your own identity. I once asked Sudha Murthy this, and she said, the fact that she always says that she was very cut up when she wasn't allowed to work for Infosys because her husband told her that you have a choice. You can either run the company or run the home. So you have to make that choice. And she said that, it never really bothered me because when one door closes, another opens. So do you sometimes feel that, being Maniratnam's wife is also, I think, a full-time job?
No, it's more than a full-time job. 24 hours is not enough to be Maniratnam's wife and, Charu Hassan's daughter and, Nandan's mother.
Yeah.
But that's how women work all the time. See, when I was young, the hormones, young, 20 years old, the hormones work differently. I wanted to stay in an apartment with some of my girlfriends and not get into family issues and all that, not even get married. I wanted a career and I wanted my freedom. But then slowly when you get into a family setup, something happens within you which takes over. Nobody needs to tell you that give up this, give up that. You don't have to be ambitious, You are in charge of so many people's health, their well-being, and their, being fed every day, and their travel. It kind of completely takes over, which is a very, very unexpected change in my life too. I cannot believe that I'm the same woman today who was 20 years ago. I'm completely different. I am Florence Nightingale, Mother Teresa, everything bundled into one. But it's my own wish.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think
your own
anybody
choice.
forced me to do it. I think it's a kind of a feminism or a women's liberation where you choose to do this, because you want to do this, and you're good at it, and there is no one better than you to do this.
I often wonder what you and Mani talk about on the dinner table. It must be the most exciting dinner table in Chennai.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let me explain this to you. We eat outdoor. We don't eat indoor. So there is no AC there. So right now we have a lovely courtyard, and we live in a house which is 45 years old. And the bathrooms were built 45 years ago, so you can imagine how it is. But we are really having such a good time. We have the moonlight, and we have the breeze from Besant Nagar beach, and we have the best food available on earth. South Indian food, you know how it is. And then we have a Bihari cook, so we have best of both worlds. And then we sit opposite each other, and we enjoy the food and say how lucky we are. We love the food, we love each other's company, we like the breeze around us, and we like where we live. Very few people do that, I think, I mean,
Grateful in the moment.
Yeah, we are very happy with each other's company and what the world has given us. Sometimes, mostly it's good food, hot food, and it's lovely. It's really lovely, and we are not bored of each other yet.
That's what, 45 years?
No, 35 years.
35
years. We've been married for 35 years.
35 years, wow. And 40 years with Ponniyin Selvan. I think Mani has been thinking about this movie.
Yes.
Planning it in his mind.
When we
thinking
met,
about
he
it.
gave me 5 volumes of Ponniyin Selvan and asked me to make a script out of it. And I was so much in awe of him. I don't want to use the 4-letter word. I was so much in awe of him. I was shooting in a village in Andhra Pradesh. So I started making a short synopsis of the whole book. And he saw this and he said, "This is not a script. You've just shot a version of Ponniyin Selvan." I said, "No, I thought I was doing the script." I forgot whatever I learned in the film institute because I was so much in awe of him. That is the film he was supposed to make even 35 years ago. He said Kamal Haasan is going to act as Vandiyathevan, which Karthi did, and Ilayaraja is doing the music, and we are thinking of so and so, so and so, so and so for other roles. And after 35 years, he actually made the film.
But and I think we can applaud that epic. What a film. And it's not just a movie, right? I think it restores a sense of pride, but not in a culturally regressive way, but in a very progressive and in a very substantial way. It asserts the identity and where the Tamils come from. I think that is its beauty.
I think all the credit goes to writer Kalki because I think it's 90% is from the book only, and the 10% is from how you interpret the book. So I think most of the credit will have to go to Kalki. Whatever compliments you're giving, this time has to go to the writer Kalki.
You've seen Mani living with this epic in his mind. How, apart from just the casting of it, how did you see it evolving?
Actually, I've been the hurdle for him. From the beginning, I've been telling him, don't do it.
Why?
In fact, in Saima, he said, "Thank you for the award for making Ponniyin Selvan. But I have to tell you one thing. My wife said, don't make this film." So I said, "Why do you do it in public?" Because I was a little disappointed with the result of Iruvar that we made on history and politics of our state. And
Why is that? It's one of my favorite films.
yes, I was disappointed with the result, how people received the film. I was very disappointed. I was the writer for the film. I wrote the
But
dialogue
what
for
a
the film.
film.
So because I think I was also artistically involved in the film. I was the writer. The lines were written by me. So I was very disappointed that some youngsters, even people I knew, came back and said, "We didn't follow the language. It was too grammatic and it was too ancient." We were making a film about 1940s. They couldn't speak. Hey, dude, what's up? You know, obviously they
bro.
couldn't. Yeah, they couldn't speak like that. But you know, all that disappointed me. And I said, I think our people don't want tradition. They don't want history. You know, give them love stories and forget it. You know, that was my attitude. I mean, I know I was being very silly, but every time he tried to do it, I said, leave me out of it. I don't want to be part of it because I'm scared that I didn't want to see the same reaction that was there for Iruvar. But they
God
proved
has
me
been
wrong.
kind. Yeah,
They
I
proved me
think-
wrong. I was completely wrong. Yeah.
What do you think it touched in so many people? And not just here, across the world.
I think it's more a success for the Tamils. I mean, it's the biggest success that Tamil cinema has ever seen in terms of number of people who saw, number of people who liked, number of people who were really looking forward to it. It was like a celebration. It was not like a movie. I don't think it was like a film. It was like a celebration because I keep telling this, every Tamil family, any family in the world, you just ask them, is there anybody who read Ponniyin Selvan in your family? There will be at least 1 or 2 or 3 people. 100%. Every Tamilian family, one person at least has read the entire. So they have been narrating these stories to the children, to the siblings, to the friends, to the relatives, and people have been listening to it for years. So it's been part of their lives, and nobody really made it and come alive on screen. And when somebody brought out something that they were kind of brought up as a child and as a young adult, to see it, metamorphosize into visuals and emotions and acting and costumes and drama, they just loved it. They loved it even before they started watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it had the biggest advance booking for any Tamil film ever. It broke all the records even before the film release, which means that
Some
kind
applause.
of thing.
You guys haven't watched it. At least it has my favorite song, which is of course named after me. Thank you. Kaveri.
Yes, of course. So, yeah, that's a film that they loved even before watching it. So I think the credit goes to the people.
And the idea of releasing it in 2 parts, that was interesting. Why didn't Mani take that call?
See, originally when he wanted to do it, it was one film.
Right.
With Kamal. And later on when he wanted to do it with Vijay and Mahesh Babu, it was again one film. But I think Bahubali changed it because Bahubali came and
Right.
both parts were successful. People were looking forward to sequels. And so Mani got the confidence that you could do 2 films and people will have the patience to wait for the second half of the film, even if it's 6 months later.
And they did.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
and
they
it
did.
worked.
They did.
So, does that make you feel happy now that, is this something that perhaps Mani would do more of or you would like to do more of? Sort of bringing tradition back, bringing history back, but in a different contemporary way perhaps?
I'm not so sure. I think he will go back to how he made Ponniyin Selvan itself. He's not going to bring it into any contemporary form because it's so beautiful as it was written or lived by people several decades ago. You can't modernize it. You can't do a Peter Brook's Mahabharat here on stage with so many different ethnicities playing Draupadi and
Right.
Krishna. I think that is modern, what you're talking about. I don't think Mani will do that. If he takes up any of the epics or the stories that are familiar to our people in the region, he will make it like Ponniyin Selvan, where it's acceptable and things
Right.
like that. It's not going to be the immediate film because the next film is going to be with Kamal, which is a modern story.
Yeah.
After 35 years or 40 or 38 years, no, 35 years, they are
working
getting together.
together?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're going to shoot in 3-4 days.
My
so I'm
God.
really looking
You must
forward
be-
to it.
I'm looking forward to it already.
And you should see the 2 of them when they sit together and talk. It's just amazing, Like, they agree on everything and they're so excited to work with each other. They have the respect that, both of them have for each other.
Wow.
And the production is also, it's going to be, first time it's going to be co-production between Raj Kamal and Madras Talkies.
Wow.
So it's 2 people getting together. It's just unbelievable.
And you're the common link.
No, I'm not the common link. Cinema is the link. And 2 people who don't care about success or failure.
Yeah. They
Who
want
just
to
care
make
about
the
content.
movie-
I don't think they're even thinking about box office.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
But
just
of course-
want to enjoy themselves
Yeah.
and they want, in the process, the audience too to enjoy.
But of course, these days, box office seems to matter a lot. 100 crore, 500 crore, 1,000 crore. Is there something a little vulgar about these figures?
It's disgusting. It's not just vulgar. It's disgusting. You can just call a film success, moderate success, or not so successful.
Yeah.
You know, in my days, you know, when I was doing lead roles, it was average, above average, and success.
Yeah.
We never even heard of a term called flop. We didn't, because most of our films did well.
Yeah.
But today, the 100 crore, 200 crores, it's all, I don't think it should be out in the open. I don't think we should have analysts who are giving you those figures. I think it's not so great.
It also skews the way films are made, isn't it? It then becomes a business rather than...
Kaveri, did you know how much your father made when you were like 12 years old?
Never.
So my son knew how much money we were making. I'm sure 12-year-olds today know how much their parents are making.
Yeah, and they
It's
always
as
feel
bad
it's
as
not
that
enough.
when films making 100 crores
Yeah.
and 200 crores, you know. We are suffering with our children because they know how much we earn. So we can't say we can't afford it because he says, I know what's your bank balance. So it's like that, you know, the same with films. Kaveri, we were very lucky.
I think we were
Our
very
parents were lucky.
Yeah.
Parents were very lucky.
No, actually, we were lucky that they were our parents. But I don't know, somehow along the way, we lost the plot, perhaps. And
Yeah.
But let's not be too sad.
Yeah.
Because it is also a time of great celebration, I think, as far as women are concerned. A lot of things, I know we just said that perhaps movies like Indira and Sindhu Bhairavi aren't being really made currently. But there are other kinds of movies which
Sure,
put women front and center
Absolutely,
of the narrative. And you've always really upheld the solidarity of women in different ways, whether it's your work outside cinema or, you know, I remember you made that lovely 8-part series, Pen.
Yes.
What is it about you that makes you so generous to other women? It's very important for you to do that, right?
I think women have to stick together and look after ourselves because, you know, we've been struggling for generations. Even today I was talking to my husband, like, when there is a war, why are they going after the women? Are the men treating women as enemies? He said, no, women are so precious for men, so to hurt them, you have to hurt the woman. When you hurt the woman, they get hurt, you know, that is the thing. Recently, somebody asked me, you know, like, if you want to sum up your journey and your success, what was that one thing that kept you going from the beginning, when I was 18 years old to now I'm 62? So what kept you going? I said, respect. I needed to respect whatever I was doing. I also needed to respect the people who are watching whatever I was doing. You know, I can't say I wore these clothes, I said this dialogue because my director forced me to do. You have a responsibility, not just to be an actor and to be obedient to your director and to your project. You have to think about who are all watching your film. You have to respect their reaction, their point of view, their opinion too. So I think respect is the most important thing. When you said, like, why are you generous? I wanted women to be respected. I wanted to not give up my respect at any point. For box office, again, for the 100 crores and 200 crores and 500 crores and 1,000 crores, you know. And also in our generation, we worked for success. We didn't work for money. So when you start working for money is when all the problems, you will not see success, nor will you see money. So my USP is that I wanted respect in everything that I did. There was anything disrespectful, I didn't want to do it. I'm not talking about close scenes, I'm not talking about wearing a bikini or anything, you know. But I'm just saying, if I respected myself wearing a bikini, I would wear it. If I were playing P.T. Usha in a film, I will wear shorts. If I were playing P.V. Sindhu, I will wear the clothes that she wears. Sania Mirza, that is respecting her, you know. So respect was my one focus.
Were you ever made to feel uncomfortable on any film set, and did you have to walk out or did you have to tell anyone off?
Absolutely. It happens most of the time. But I will always find somebody who will be on my side because you can't win these battles alone. You have to have some kind of, because see, the time that I came in, you were not expected to refuse to do any scenes, including the man. For example, there was a close scene in Roja, which Arvind was very, very nervous to do. And he didn't know how to say, no, I don't want to do this scene. Even Shah Rukh Khan, for a romantic scene in Dil Se, he said he's hesitant to do.
Yeah.
So it's not just women, you know, to men also these things happen. But I always find if I have one support, then I, throw a tantrum or do a drama. For example, I was asked to sit on a hero's lap. I refused. I said, it's in the park in India in 1981. No woman sits in a man's lap in a park, so I won't sit there. Sit. There was a shot where he was licking an ice cream and he was giving to me. I said, no, I'm not having the same ice cream. No, change the scene. Get me another ice cream. And my dance director was surprised. You're not supposed to refuse. I said, of course I can refuse an ice cream. In Tamil we say etchil. I said, no, etchil, I won't touch it. Ingli. I said, I won't touch it.
So were you seen as, because when women do all this, they're seen as being difficult or being problematic.
Yeah.
When men do it, it's fine. It's just men being men. When women do all this, then they're, she's very difficult to work with.
I still remember Shobana went for a shoot and refused to do a scene. So the director said, who do you think you are? Are you Suhasini? So she came and said, what's so special about you? The director said, who do you think you are, Suhasini? I said, yes, we should be. There should be more Suhasinis and more Shobanas so that people get used to people
Some applause there. We need more of you, really. But
I walked out for lyrics. I heard lyrics of a song. I refused to get down from the car in Vijaya Garden.
Really?
I heard the lyrics and I said, it's very stupid. I'm not talking. I'm not saying these. I'm not singing for these.
What were the lyrics like?
It was, actually, I go to a lawyer after killing a man and he's defending me. His wife is imagining that we are having an affair. So we both are dancing where I'm saying, you are my husband. And she says, no, he's my love. So I said, no, I'm a married woman. I'm not going to call him, all these things. They said, no, it's the wife's dream. I said, let her dream, but I'm not coming out. So we have gone through, all this. Yeah.
Have things changed for women in the industry here?
The women have changed.
Yeah.
The women have changed. The world is the same. I think the women have changed. They've become more vocal.
Yeah.
And they're also,
standing up for themselves.
Yeah, standing up for themselves. But they're also ambitious. So there's too much competition. They think life is too short. So they don't protest so much. I think, again, if they have respect and if they have self-confidence, they will protest.
Sometimes do you feel like mentoring some of these women and telling them, you don't have to do this. You can, there is another way.
Yes. I call up some of my colleagues in Bombay. I tell them, I think I can say about this, it's okay. We were looking at a OTT platform where it was really, really explicit. And I was wondering, how did they get the courage to do scenes like this, which are not accepted by the society or the censors or by law? I said, they must have seen mainstream films where scenes are very bold and the top people are doing it. So it's okay to do little, go 2 steps above. So I called Poonam Dhillon and said, shall I come and talk to all the leading heroes and heroines in Bombay and tell them, don't do scenes like this because you're encouraging something which is illegal by somebody who's misinterpreting the freedom, artistic freedom that you have. And she said, keep quiet and stay in Madras, don't come. That's what she said. So I do feel like that because I'm also in a position of power, or not power, control. So when I see things going totally wrong because of some freedom that has been taken, which is interpreted wrong by somebody else, you will slowly come to know because it's going to be in papers about this platform where everything is so explicit and it's so available. And it's really, it breaks my heart to see something like this.
You want to name it?
Not really. I think matter sub judice. So you all can Google and find out. There is one in North India. It's all in Hindi.
Okay.
It's only in Hindi.
Right. You're also on the grievance redressal board of the.
That's where I came to see this episodes because normally we wouldn't have seen. I think they started this platform itself in 2018, just before the pandemic. And I think pandemic kind of grew because it is porn. It's pornography, but it's freely available. And it's so difficult to stop it because people haven't reported about it.
Right.
They're consuming it, but they haven't reported about it.
So how important is it, as you said to me recently, that people should know what not to watch? right?
Right.
At a time when there is so much to watch.
I was telling Kaveri, like when I was in the Film Institute, I was looking for mentors to tell me what to watch.
Right.
Because all we watched was mainstream Hindi films, mainstream Tamil films. Only those two were available, and Hollywood blockbusters like James Bond and other films.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to see the international films, but we had mentors. So many mentors, like my uncle, my principal, and there was a man called Anantu, Sridhar Rajan. They all told us, watch this film, watch that film. But today, I think they need mentors like us to tell the youngsters, do not watch those. Please don't watch those films. Don't watch that on OTT. Don't watch this. Because that's not how life is. That is not how art should be represented.
Right. And there is a certain kind of aesthetic that you need to develop and work on that. Watch this, watch that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because everything is available, so people lose control of what is good.
Yeah.
And what is, and I hate this term, goosebumps.
Yeah.
You know, women get goosebumps when we are uncomfortable about something. Isn't it? When it's too cold, we get goosebumps. And when, a centipede walks, it gets into our feet, we say, oh, I'm getting goosebumps, I don't want it. So this goosebumps has become a very, very positive, expression. Oh my God, I saw this film, I got goosebumps. Why should you get goosebumps?
Right.
You have to just watch it and enjoy it,
Right.
It shouldn't physically affect you. So the whole thing about everything should affect you physically. You have to be on a high to enjoy something. That is a new phenomenon which is very, very scary. So people can't be on a high
All
in
the
life
time.
forever.
Yeah. And then they'll just be looking for the next high, which is possibly even worse.
Yeah, and can't come down.
Yeah.
Can't come back from it.
There's also this sort of blurring of lines between what used to be highbrow and what used to be called lowbrow. Now it's called no brow, the sort of in between. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I'll tell you a very, very stupid incident. When I was a teenager, I thought anybody who spoke English had good taste. Seriously. I mean, who
That's
spoke
how we
English
were,
with proper grammar and good vocabulary had very good taste. So I'd gone to Bombay and we were like 10 of us sitting and we were talking about movies. And suddenly this man who spoke grammatically beautiful English said, I love this actor. What an actor he is. He was a very ordinary actor. I was thinking, what the hell is wrong with this man? He speaks such good English, he can't differentiate between good acting and bad acting. That's how naive we were. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Between the highbrow and the lowbrow, it's all,
Yeah. You're also co-chair of CII.
Yes.
And there again, I think you're trying to sort of work in a way for the next generation. I think you're trying to leave.
Actually,
some
last 2
legacy.
years, we've been asking people to look at us in the South. We are here, kind of a thing,
I think people now have seen the reality. Yes.
Our tagline itself was think local and win global. And the second edition was breaking barriers.
Right.
So I think we were like, literally we were seeing what was going to happen in the future. And the second year, we didn't even have to tell people like, look at us, from the film industry, we are here, because all eyes were already on South Indian cinema. But I would like it if the smaller films and the meaningful films also reach all over India instead of just the blockbusters that you see. I don't want to name all of them because most of them are nice. Some of them I don't really appreciate, but that doesn't matter. But I want the good content to go all over India, and also it should not affect the aesthetic, whatever combination or proportion or the, of the Hindi films. I think it's affecting that. The Hindi films also have become like the blockbusters which are made in the South. So that part is a little worrisome for me.
How important is politics of the art to you? That, the politics should be right. And what for you is the right politics?
Today, I think there is no Indian film without politics.
Yeah.
Because most of the film, the villain is a politician. Isn't it? I mean, at least there are 4 or 5 villains who are all politicians. The local MLA is the first villain, So I think that is not a real politics that I want to see in films. You know what I mean? That's not. Yeah, a film like Wednesday or like Bombay or, Roja, Iruvar is the kind of politics that I want to see in
Yeah.
films, not really films that milk out of politics and make money. So there is no difference between, the politicians you're trying to say they're all wrong. So
Right.
for me, that's not a good politics in my
Right.
in cinema.
But also it's difficult to make a political film in India. I mean, money
Right
has
now,
tried
yes.
so much.
Right now, yes, it is difficult. Sorry, no more. Today, it's impossible to make a political film.
I wonder if money would even make Dil Se now. Or
Or
Iruvar.
Bombay, no.
Or Bombay.
Shabana
forget.
said even Sholay you can't make today because there were so many scenes which will not be accepted today
Yeah.
because I think everybody has a right to their opinion.
Right.
So they will have their own opinions which is debatable. So earlier on you just saw something and accepted it. Today everybody has
Right.
an argument. And politics is the easiest thing to argue about. I'm sure all of you when you go for dinner, I think 75% of the people are different from whatever you are saying, and you end up fighting with them. You wonder, why did you go for dinner? You went to have a good time, but you picked up an argument with somebody. It happens. It happens.
Do you and Mani go and watch movies in halls?
Yes.
Yeah?
Mani does. He does it on the sly. He doesn't take me because when he goes with me, he gets mobbed. So when he goes alone, he doesn't get mobbed. That was the scenario before Ponniyin Selvan.
Right.
But after Ponniyin Selvan, he gets recognized more than I do
Oh.
because of the social media and all
Right.
the interviews, the promotions.
be hating
He's become
it.
world famous.
He's not the kind who likes the
Yeah,
limelight.
he doesn't like it, but what to do?
Yeah.
He made Ponniyin Selvan.
It's his
He has
fault.
to accept it's his fault.
So, what are the kinds of movies that you go to watch?
Oh,
Or you go with
we,
your
we, we go
girlfriends?
the James Bond films, Interstellar, and Christopher Nolan's films. We go and
Right.
watch in the theater. Yes, we
Right.
do.
So, the other thing that I want to also ask you, because you mentioned Poonam Dhillon, is your class of 80s.
Yes. Yes.
Let's talk about that, because it has the Tamil film industry,
Telugu, Malayalam,
film,
Kannada, and
Telugu,
now Hindi
and
industry.
Hindi.
Hindi films.
Let's talk about the members.
Okay.
And what do you do? It's a fun group.
I think it's all about friendship. We started it about 13 years ago. This year will be the 14th year. And
You're the main woman.
Lissy Priyadarshan and me, we were the main. Of course, now she's Lissy Lakshmi. So she and I thought of getting people together because we live in Chennai. And what we decided was people who have worked with her from Malayalam and Telugu, and people who have worked with me, Malayalam, Telugu, Kannada. We invited people who worked with us. And then it grew. And we have 38 people now.
Who are the notable members?
Jackie Shroff and Poonam
What does he
Dhillon.
say? I wonder what his greeting every morning is.
He's there. He's talking about some herb that is
Some
available,
plant, some
plant,
herb.
and he's there for all the weddings.
Acha?
Menaka's daughter's wedding, he's there. Then Rahman's daughter's wedding, he was there. Now we're all going for Radha's daughter's wedding. So we're all together. In fact, we're all, my birthday was with all of them. They all came from Bombay and we went to Pondicherry and spent time. It's really wonderful. It's really wonderful. And I'm called Captain by Rajnikant.
Captain?
Yes, he calls me Captain.
He's also a member of
Yes, he's part
Who
of
else?
us. And
Who else?
Chiranjeevi, Mohanlal, Venkatesh, Nagarjun, Prabhu, and we've lost 2 people who were in our group, Ambrish and Vishnuvardhan. They are no more, but they were with us too. And who's who of South Indian film industry?
What do you talk about?
We-
You have a WhatsApp group.
yes,
Okay.
every morning we chat.
You do. What
yes.
do you talk about?
Today I had to tell them no Gaza talk, no Israel talk.
Yeah,
Okay. In this group, no talk about that.
Right.
Because some of them are politicians, some of them are MPs.
Right.
So I tell them, we just share our happiness. Most of them share their grandchildren's photos. Today there were 2 photographs of grandchildren. So they're all telling all of us who are not grandparents yet, saying that that's the most beautiful face in your life.
Your poor son is going to get all that pressure.
No pressure. Actually, what we have is wonderful, I don't think it is there any part of the world. And we go for a wedding or to a function. 15 of us descend there and everything is invisible because only we are visible because we dominate. I'm trying to show off, but it's true. I think you all should try it, to be with your colleagues at a time after 50 and 55 to be together. And the really funny people are Ramya Krishnan and Shobana. They start chatting at 11 o'clock in the night, and they won't let any of us sleep. And we'll be laughing and joking, and we take on a topic, and sometimes it'll be songs, sometimes it'll be dance, it'll be any topic. So I think we are just having the great time of our lives, and we are having our next reunion in Chennai in December. I won't reveal the place, I won't reveal the date, but there'll be about 38 to 39 people coming.
We should set the paparazzi on you.
Yes.
But there's no paparazzi culture in Chennai yet, I think. Is there?
We have.
You have?
Yes, we do.
You have airport looks and all here also?
No, we don't
Thank
have.
God.
Unfortunately, even when there was a death recently, I think the paparazzi went overboard. That's what I heard when one of our significant actors, he lost his child.
Oh,
so
right,
they didn't
right,
let the family mourn and all that. So
Yeah.
it's happening. It's happening. We
Right.
don't have an airport look. We haven't come to that.
Yeah, so what look do you have? Like party look? I mean, the paparazzi go to the parties or?
They are more interested in what we are saying, I think, not what we are wearing.
At
That
least
is what
that's-
Chennai
at
is
least
about.
That's good. At least that's good.
We always say, when in Chennai, we don't wear our wealth in our sleeves and we don't wear our wisdom in our hats. It's all kept away.
Yeah, that's right. So, just the idea of politics. Have you never thought of entering or becoming a politician like your friend Khushbu, for instance?
You heard me talk now. You think I'll survive as a politician?
That is true. I think
You heard me talk. You think I'll survive? No, I will not, because I speak my mind and I'm not going to bend, and I need respect. Sorry. For myself. I'm not talking about anybody else. I need to respect myself. Also, I'm not qualified. The real reason being, my son is really into politics. He loves politics. When he was an 8, 9-year-old child or a 10-year-old child, he used to throw the backpack and watch Parliament TV. And he took a promise from me, Amma, you don't enter politics because you're not qualified.
so. No Yuva kind of scene for you.
No. He told me, you're not qualified, so stay back.
So he's studying political science, right?
No, he studied philosophy.
Philosophy at
Oxford,
Oxford.
yes.
Has he done his PhD?
Yes,
or?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So you're the proud mother of a doctorate.
Yes.
I wonder what he and you two talk about when you
What
meet.
normal mothers talk about, like the son says, you don't know anything.
That we hear
You don't
from
know
all
anything,
our
Amma.
sons. Yeah.
Please, Ma, you don't know anything. So when I'm not around, he'll tell somebody, my mother is very, she's great and all that. Not in front of me.
Not in front of you.
So, yeah.
Are you the most talkative one in your family?
No, I think my son is more talkative.
Really?
Because I just heard from someone, like when I was coming, I spent an hour with your son. I spoke for 10 minutes, he spoke for 50 minutes.
So, but Mani is not. Mani is very reticent.
He talks
must be
when
opening
there
up
is a
to-
relevant topic.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
He'll never give up an argument.
Never?
Yeah, no.
Oh. What, do you ever have an argument with him?
Not with him, no.
No.
Because he's going to win it.
He knows everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is
When I
it?
go for these, guru, to meet the guru, to have like 3-day meditation and...
Do you do that?
I do that.
Who's
Because
your guru?
Many gurus. I follow all... I'm very fond of all the gurus because they think about people. They're not thinking about themselves, which is nice. So I go, he says, what did he say? So I tell him, he said this, he said this. I've been telling you for 25 years the same thing. So I didn't need a guru. I'm the guru. So,
I can't imagine Mani talking like that, but the whole family that Mani has created, all his ADs who've now become directors, people like Shad and Bijoy, all of them, they're all really part of your family.
absolutely,
right?
yes.
But the kind of sustenance that they've all got from both of you, both I think personally as well as artistically, it's very rare to find that kind of extended family. But you've all managed to do that with the next generation also.
I think he spends most of his time with his assistant directors. In fact, I keep telling him when he sometimes tells me off, I say, I'm not your 4th unwanted assistant director. He said, is that how I treat you? Is that how you treat them? Is what I say. So he's very, very close to his ADs, and he discusses all his dreams with them. You know, when you discuss your dreams with somebody, when you discuss your passion with somebody, when you discuss something like absolutely brilliant that you want to create with somebody, they automatically become your family.
Right.
I think that's what has happened with this ADs.
And when you see them succeeding, he must be really...
Very happy.
Yeah.
He's very happy. Yeah.
Right. Also, the kind of people you have groomed, I mean, from A.R. Rahman to whoever, to your actors. I mean, look at Aishwarya. I think her finest performances are in Mani's movies.
Arvind, Swami and Madhavan,
Yeah.
they're all Siddharth, they're all like part of our family because
Right.
they all... the advantage for all of them is that in their first film itself, Arvind Swami worked with Rajnikant on one side, Mammootty on the other side, and then you have Ilayaraja doing music and Santosh Sivan doing cinematography, and Mani is directing. So they see the best the creme de la creme of film industry.
It also spoils them then for later directors.
Not really. I think they learn a lot, you know, which I think is better.
So when you've seen the growth of actors like Arvind or Aishwarya or Madhavan,
yes.
what is the sense that you get? How do you feel?
I'm like, when I see Aishwarya, I feel really, really happy. You know, I know her as a person.
Yeah.
You might all see her as, a beauty or whatever. I see her as a real person. She's got so many qualities that are not seen by public. For example, her nurse, if you fall ill, she'll be the first person who will come and look after you. And she'll give you advice on what to eat and what, she has that. Florence Nightingale is Aishwarya Rai. And Arvind is so brilliant. I think some of you might have seen, he can remember 100 things. If you show him, in a second, he'll be able to repeat to you. He has got all those
And what a
things.
fantastic...
And Madhavan played basketball for the country.
Oh, really?
He represented the country in basketball.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So you don't even know. And no wonder his son is a swimming champion.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's there in the genes. So when I see all of them succeed, and he's the chief of the Pune Film Institute, Madhavan, I feel very happy because usually I used to be his GPS. When he was newly married and he was living in Chennai, he'll call me, Hasni ma'am, I'm stuck in the road outside Park Sheraton. Which way do I go to Adyar? I said, take the left and turn right and go to Adyar. So I was the GPS for both of them. So it's so lovely to see them do so well. Abhishek Bachchan too.
Yeah,
I've seen them grow and so beautiful.
Yeah,
to see all of them.
in Ravan and Guru.
Yes.
Guru, I think, was again. Yes. And Mani has this ability to extract such terrific performances from people sometimes you don't expect it from, right?
I think there is a tradition in South Indian films for that. And some of the Tamilians would know K. Balachandar. He has made so many stars. If I start naming the stars, you'll be surprised. It is Kamal, Rajnikant, Chiranjeevi, Jayaprada, Jayasudha, Sri Devi, Madhavi, and Sarita, and how many people? Prakash Raj. They were all made actors by K. Balachandar. So they have the special ability to bring the best out of actors.
So I think Mani is also in
I think he's following the tradition.
Right.
It's not the same about Telugu directors, Malayalam and Kannada. Tamil directors had that ability.
Right. When you look at the Malayalam film industry, some of the work that's being done on these, women-oriented films like The Great Indian Kitchen or Jaya 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 Hey, it's amazing. Does that excite you?
Sorry, I'm going to make a very wrong political statement. The state definitely needs films like that.
That's true.
The state definitely needs films.
And the film industry definitely needs that.
The state is also the film industry.
Yeah. Why does that happen?
Because women are very powerful. The more powerful women are, they are going to be targeted. Earlier on we thought women were in the kitchen, so they were treated badly. If they're in the offices also, they will be treated badly because the more powerful women become, they're going to be targeted. Women have to get stronger. That's all. They have to get stronger.
The onus is always on the woman though.
Yeah.
That's the
and then bring up the boys to respect the women in their generation.
Right. So you're a Chennai girl through and through. This is a city that has...
I am not a city girl at all. I am a proper village girl. I grew up in a small town near Rameshwaram called Paramakudi. I studied in a municipality school. I keep telling this. There were 28 people in my class. Only 2 people came for studies. The other 26 came only for the midday meals.
Oh.
So that kind of a demographic background is where I studied. I studied there till my 8th standard. Only for my 9th standard, I came to the city.
Right.
9th, 10th, 11th, and college, I was here. So I can't, of course, I lived many years in the city, so
you're a village girl who became a Chennai girl.
Yes.
and I just wonder about your days in the Film Institute. What, one girl and 150 boys?
Yes.
And to lug around that heavy camera in those days, people must have thought you're slightly nutty.
Yeah. So every boy would make me come and sit down and say, like, you've chosen a wrong path. You're not going to succeed. You're going to be a failure. All 150 of them told me that I'll be a failure, you know.
I wonder
Maybe they
where
were right.
They are. I wonder where they are now.
No, they said the woman's place is to get married and have children. They were all, I mean, out of love and affection is what they said. But maybe they were true because I didn't become a cinematographer, I became an actress.
Right.
So maybe they had foresight. But it was really wonderful growing up with those 150 boys because I knew everything about boys. I was absolutely brilliant. I don't think any other girl has had this opportunity of studying with 150 boys. Yeah, I told Nelson, you know, when I saw Jailer, one exam, 25 boys had to write the exam with me. All of them had disappeared. I couldn't find them. And my examiner was saying, without 5 students, we can't have the exam. So I said, I don't know where they've gone. So I went to the men's hostel. I don't want to go into details what they were doing. They were watching something. 25 of them are watching something. I opened the door and I saw that 8mm projector. And I said, what the hell are you doing? Come and write the exam. You know, and then I looked at what they were watching. I said, you were watching this. You're all supposed to be filmmakers. Come, you know. And they wrote the exam. So I told Nelson, watching your film was like walking into men's hostel, boys' hostel suddenly, you know. So I grew up like that. But I'm grateful to all of them.
Yeah. Do you, are you in touch with
we do. Today,
Really?
I'm going to one of my friend's son's birthday party tonight.
Wow.
So I'm still in touch with them.
Do you ever sleep? Like, how many things do you do in a day? You meet people, you run your home, obviously, you talk to money, very important. And, you know, you're acting, you're thinking, you're writing.
No, I think after 55, you know, you have to take it a little easy in life. You can't work like how you were working earlier on. So my advice to all of you is to take it a little easy.
Does it happen?
You know, I think it should happen because health is more important. So I do take it easy a little bit. You should take it easy. And yeah, manage your time well. My best friend lives in Frankfurt, my classmate. So every time my dearest friend is also here, Kush, you should ask her how she manages her time because she wakes up at 4:30 in the morning.
She does?
Yes.
Really?
4:30 in the morning, she's cooking for the children and she's sending them to school or college. And after that, she goes for shooting. And then she's in Bombay in the morning. And then next day, she's in Delhi. So she's the one who's like, we call her a Wonder Woman. And she looks so pretty.
Yeah. But you were one of those who really stood by her when her cases were on. I remember that she said that and she was very grateful about it.
That was a turning point in both our lives, I think.
Yeah.
We kind
Just
of
to
realized...
remind people, Khushbu had 22 cases, 23. 46,
I had 28 cases. You had 46 cases. So
46 cases where she was accused of all kinds of things, of leading people astray, leading young people astray, being morally wrong. But that was very important. That was a very important moment in her life and yours. Do you want to mention it?
Yeah, like, yes, I stood by her. I didn't even know her then.
Really?
I didn't know her. I didn't know her very well. She acted in her first Tamil film with me.
Oh.
Rajnikant, myself, Prabhu and Khushbu acted. I knew her and I saw her success and everything. And I said, hello, how are you and all that. But I didn't realize that I will be holding her hand. I remember that when 28 cases were filed, my mother said she didn't sleep that night. Okay? So she came and told me I couldn't sleep because 28 people have filed cases. I went to my husband and said, my mother says she didn't sleep all night. Then my husband asked, what about Kushbu's mother? 32 days she's faced this alone. 32 nights her mother hasn't slept. Your mother hasn't slept only one night. So I had that support.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. But that's really you, Suhasini, standing up for other women, standing up for yourself, and standing up for what's right.
I said respect.
Respect.
You cannot
Always.
disrespect me or my friend. And that's not possible.
And again, we can't thank Mani because he does very few interviews. So thank you to Mani for making Ponniyin Selvan and for really brightening up our lives. Thank you so much. And thank you, Suhasini, for being you.
Thank you, Kaveri. And thank you so much for listening till now.